Hey everyone, so I have another nostalgia video from my 90s nostalgia series, and this is Recess. Now if you are a 90s child, you will without a doubt know what Recess is, or was, and the chances are you will have loved it. I don't know a kid who didn't watch it, I don't know a kid who didn't enjoy it. I say a kid, I mean a kid then. I mean, it definitely was one of my personal favourites. Um, there was 6 seasons, which I didn't quite know there was 6. I didn't think, 127 episodes. I didn't think there was that many. I can't recall that many, but I've never sat down from then and watched an episode now which I haven't seen. So I've obviously seen all, if not most of them. Um, so there is quite a lot of episodes. But yeah, so just in case you don't know, it's about a group of school children, all best friends, who all have different personalities, and they each have a different task each day. For example, they might have one episode they have to try and TJ has to try and become the prankster prince. Another one, it's all about they have to save swinging girl because they think she swings over the top. They have to go and get a ball from the school neighbour's garden, who's a really mean man. And all these sort of problems that kids face, which aren't actually problems in the real world, and they aren't always reality. But it's your sort of typical, the way the kids see the world sort of show. And it is really good. So I'll just go through the characters, and if I describe the character's personality, it might give sort of an overview more so of the show to those who might not have heard of it. So TJ Detweiler is the sort of the cool kid, if you like. He wears his cap backwards. He's sort of streetwise and really quite a cool kid. Then you have Spinelli, or her full name Ashley Spinelli, and she is very much your tomboy. She chews chewing gum constantly. She has little pigtails and things. She's very feisty. She likes to fight. Then you have Vince, who is very sporty, he's very athletic, he's very competitive. I wasn't always a fan of his character when I was younger. I quite like his character now, but when I was younger I didn't really care. Then you have Gus, who is quite a small child. He's got glasses. He's kind of like, no, I don't use the word weedy because he's not, but he's quite a scaredy cat. He's like the Chucky Finster of Recess. Then you have Gretchen, who is, to put a word on it, kind of geeky. I'm not judging because I'm quite a geek myself. But yeah, she's kind of geeky. She has the glasses, the pigtails, a sort of stereotypical geek. She likes to read, but not as much as Library Kid. Then you have Mikey, who is a rather plump child, very cuddly, loving child. He loves to sing, and just a really great character. I think he's fantastic. So when you put all those together, you have this ideal gang, because no matter what the situation, one of them is going to have a skill to solve it. So that is fantastic. You also have loads of other characters, like you have the Ashleys, you have the girl in the swing, you have the Diggers, King Bob, oh gosh, Randall, who's like a snitch. He really does my head in. And then you have the kindergarten kids who are wild. There's all these different characters, so many of them, and each one sort of has their own individual episode. For example, the Ashleys, there's a whole episode about the Ashleys and how Spinelli becomes one of the Ashleys and things. You also have Miss Finster, who's a bitch. Miss Grotke, who is their class teacher. And loads of different teachers and things. So there is loads and loads of characters, but each episode revolves around the main group. And it is such a fun episode. The colours are so bright. There's never a dark, dull episode. Each episode brings something new, and you don't ever know what's going to happen because there's so many surprises and so many things you just don't expect to happen. I do believe that's quite typical to an average playground. They make up words as well. You have womps, which is a word for swearing, which I think is good. And there's another one which has just completely gone from the back of my mind. Let me give you a second. Tender. TJ says tender whenever something is great. So that was kind of amusing as well. So it is kind of, I think, typical to your average school playground, but with a bit more adventure and a bit more imagination being threaded into it, I think. There's also a film, Recess School's Out. Actually, I think there's another Recess film as well, but the Recess main one is Recess School's Out, and that came out in about 2003, I think. And I loved it. And then I was watching it again last year, maybe, and one of the characters came on, and I listened, and I was like, oh my god, that's Melissa. Melissa Joan Hart voices one of the characters in it, and I completely didn't know that when I was younger, so that was a really nice surprise to find out that Melissa was a voice in it. But yeah, so the film is great, but I think the TV show itself is even better. It is on Disney Channel still. I was watching it at 9:30, 10 o'clock the other night on Disney, which is, what target audience is up at that time of night, But never mind. I will admit that unless you're a 90s kid or older, I don't think it'll be something that you would have seen, or at least generally speaking. I know my younger brother and sister haven't seen it. I don't know any of the new generation who have watched it. You know, it's kind of, you have all these shows on Disney and Nickelodeon quite late at night, which are for sort of the 90s children and older, because the younger kids just don't want to watch them. They want their new programs. But never mind. But yeah, it is absolutely fantastic and definitely one of my favourite shows from my childhood. Please feel free to leave comments and things and let me know your thoughts on this or any other 90s shows or anything. If you have any requests, please let me know. Oh, and somebody asked me if they could post a video response on one of my videos. Yes, you don't need to ask, just attach it and I'll accept it. Providing it's nothing unacceptable. But yeah, so please feel free to leave comments and things, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.